Hello, today I'm speaking to Tino Kam of RBS, and we're going to have a conversation about Sepa, the single euro payments area. So, Tino, why are so many companies now finding it difficult to meet the deadline to be compliant with Sepa?
Right. So I think many companies had difficulties because they started too late. And the reason why they started too late, they had a wait-and-see approach. So by March last year, 2012, the regulation was approved by the European Commission to set the start date or the end date of Sepa by February 2014. So that was quite late in the game, and a lot of companies had a wait-and-see approach because basically they didn't find any, let's say, key benefits for their companies to implement Sepa at that moment. So they waited and see for the date to become known. And then companies had to start late, so second half of 2012 to just start up the project, to get budget, etc., etc. And now we are where we are. You see in a lot of statistics in the tsunamis of all the, let's say, ECB stats or all the surveys you see that companies are late. And I think the second challenge, I think, apart from the wait-and-see approach, is the complexity. So SGT, yes, we will make it. Corporates will migrate to Sepa in time for the credit transfer migration. It's quite straightforward. You need to have the IBAN in place. A lot of countries already have the IBAN. So then it will be much more straightforward to migrate to credit transfers. The challenge obviously is on the direct debit piece. You see there the latest ECB stats that 97% of the flows have not been migrated yet. So we still have less than 10 months to go. So that is a challenge, if you consider that. And I think the complexity of the direct debits is there's a couple of things to say. I think one is that the scheme itself differentiates quite significantly with the current direct debit schemes in the countries. So there's a significant differentiation, and it's much difficult for the companies to adopt the new scheme. So I think that's one of the key challenges for direct debits.
So do you think, regulators sort of oversimplify the technical requirements needed when they set the timetable?
No, I don't think that's the reason. I don't think that the technical requirements are too complex or something like that. So I think the complexity sits. The arguments are already just mentioned in the previous questions about the complexity of SED, the late start, but also I think about that the clarity was the market. There was not a clarity from a country migration plan very late, even by February 2013, where the countries had to submit their, let's say, waivers or niche products. And even now you see countries where they didn't confirm yet how their migration plans looks like. So that's obviously less than a year to go, and not knowing exactly what the migration plan looked like in some of the countries. Well, that's quite late in the game. So I think that is one of the key reasons there is that the unclarity where the market is going from a country point of view. I think that was another key challenge, and that's why also where we are obviously. And I think we will try our best as an industry with banks and corporates and consumers to migrate on time, and that will be the challenge for the coming 10 months.
So during this transition phase, what role do banks have in ensuring that companies can, cope with the Sepa migration and also, process payments in the most effectively and cost-effective way possible?
So where do I start? I think what banks have been doing, obviously, is first of all create awareness in the market and with their clients. So making sure that everyone understands what benefits Sepa can bring to you. And I think we bring also expertise on the table to create to try to simplify the complexity. So the country migration plans and the difficulties in the country by country migration from their flows into Sepa. So we banks are advising our clients how best they can plan for that. Secondly, I think we are partnering with our clients. Together with the clients, we are basically creating a roadmap, a plan. based on our best practices we see in the market, how we migrate to Sepa. And then thirdly, I think banks are helping clients as well through tooling. A couple of examples, migration tooling that is. So we help them in testing. So we provide them with test tools, with self-service test tools, so they can accelerate basically their development to XML. And the second part of the tooling is about the translation and enrichment services. ERP vendors or IT service providers or banks can provide their clients to help them in translating legacy formats into ISO.XML, but also enriching the instruction. Well, the simple example can be in BBAN to IBAN enrichment, but also adding the mandate-related information from a direct debit point of view into the collection file. So there I think banks are definitely helping out, trying to help out our clients to be in time, first of all, and make it as much as possible, so effective and efficient possible. For me, 2014 is not an end date. For me, 2014 is a start date.
Yeah, I think that's the way the industry is viewing it as well.
Absolutely. So we will make sure, together with our clients, to be ready on time migrate on time. But after 2014, we will truly implement the standardization benefits of Sepa. Plus, it will be the foundation, I strongly believe, for, let's say, the e-commerce suite of the future, to support e-commerce, identity or e-invoicing, e-mandates. All those, let's say, new developments will be based on Sepa, the Sepa credit transfers and the Sepa direct debit schemes.